Whew. Hi campers, hope you're doing well. Well, I'm back out on the Brompton. Got her loaded up for a camp, and God, it's been a hot old day today. It's the hottest day of the year so far. So we're in mid-July. It's Friday, late afternoon Friday. It's must be yeah, it's 4 o'clock. So I left home about 45 minutes ago on the bike. I clocked off work today and come out for a camp. But yeah, it's over 30 degrees I think today, and yeah, it's been a sweltering cycle over here from home. It's only a few miles away, but yeah, it's just hot nonetheless, and I'm a hot sweaty mess. But yeah, I've got the tent out today, and gonna give it its first outing. I've sort of done a test pitch which I previewed on a video a short while ago, but this is going to be its first camp, so I'm looking forward to using it, albeit it's going to be a hot night, isn't it? I've got some after last month's camp where I sort of went quite minimalistic with the sleep kit. This one's going to be very different. I'm going to be very comfortable indeed. But yeah, I am a little bit concerned that the tent's going to be a sweat box today. So I should probably leave the tent door open tonight and benefit from the mozzie net. That'd be quite nice, because I can see and hear a lot of mosquitoes in the area, and I've only got shorts on, so unless I do something about that, I could be eaten alive tonight. But yeah, I've got some nice food to enjoy later. Going to do some cooking on this video, folks. Didn't cook anything last time, did I? But because it's so hot, it's only simple food for me today. Not really in the mood for cooking too much when it's this hot. And I've got a nice beer, or a porter actually. But without further ado, I'm going to get the tent pitched, I think. I'm on a bit of a hill where I am here. This is one of my old haunts that I haven't camped at for a few years now, actually. Since just after lockdown, I think was the last time I camped here. That was 2020, in the summer of 2020. So 4 years. And it's I've just had a little walk around. There's sign that other people have been camping here. I can see 1 or 2 areas, albeit whoever's camped here, they've cleaned up after themselves and done a good job. But there's so much bracken and nettles growing up around here. It never used to be that thick. So yeah, it's really gone quite wild around here. And loads of sign on the ground where wildlife have been scurrying about, so I think either deer footprints or maybe badger nosing around in the undergrowth. So that's quite cool to see. But yeah, I'm on a bit of a slope here. There's a bit of a flat spot in front of my bike there where I think I'm going to pitch the tent. That's where I used to bivvy back in the day. Well, there's some areas over there, but I think that's my best bet. The trees look healthy enough, even though they're beech trees over there. It's worth the risk because the weather's quite calm today. So yeah, I'm gonna get that tent pitched, I think, and then change out of this sweaty top. Always surprises me how much kit you can get into this bag. It's quite handy. Right, pack the poles in here for the tent and the pegs as well. And somewhere in here should be, I bought an extra ground sheet as well, just to protect the inner of the tent and the ground cloth, because I don't want to damage the new tent. Whoa. There we go, folks. Took about 15 minutes of just getting all the pegs out and everything. But yeah, that'll do. I haven't put these guy lines out here because they're not necessary. It's not a breath of wind and there's no wind in the forecast, so I think the tent will be perfectly stable. Put that peg there. Just noticed a loose peg. But yeah, happy with that. Let's get inside. Lovely jubbly. I did have to just reclip in the inner because it come unclipped, but I know that that's a trait with this tent. It's known for that sort of thing, so I have to fix that. I am sweating like a good one. Whew. Exciting times, folks. I have bought an inflatable sleeping pad. Got a self-inflating one by Multimat. I've had this one about 10 years almost. It does actually self-inflate. All you got to do is be patient. Just leave it half hour, leave the valve open and let it do its thing. And then I've got a sleeping bag as well in one of David Fry's pouches. One season sleeping bag. Even this I think is going to be a bit much tonight. got a comfort rating of about 10 degrees. And yeah, I think it's going to be hot in that. Get that unzipped. The Snug Pack Travel Pack 1. And I've got my usual bag of spare clothing. In here I have my stuff sack pillow, which I really enjoy using, gotta say. I'll chuck my hoodie in that. Don't think I'm going to be needing that just yet. That's what I'll chuck that in as well. And there you go, nice comfy pillow. Right. Aha, citronella candle. I need to get that lit up straight away, I think, because the bugs are out in force and the way I'm dripping. Oh, it's good to sit down now though. Really important bit of kit to take out in the summer is a sweat rag. This is literally a British Army sweat rag. I think they use it in the jungle. Oh, makes a change being in a tent, I've got to say. I don't normally associate tent camping with woodland camping. For me, camping in the woods is always about sleeping under a tarp, be it in a hammock or bivvy bag or otherwise. And due to the sort of unfathomable way that my head seems to work, taking a tent to the woods doesn't quite seem to compute with me. But I thought this tent might work quite well out here, so we'll see. It's certainly attracting a lot of bugs. I can see them flying around already. That's going to be interesting. Right, get the candle lit up. So far, I've had this out on 2 camps previous to this one, and it has. I think it's been doing a pretty decent job, actually. The last camp out I had, this was the only thing I used to sort of keep the bugs at bay. I didn't use any bug spray or anything like that, and I got bitten once, and there were bugs everywhere. So I was quite happy with that. I thought that was, you know, a good job. Let me put that up here and find my lighter. Hi folks, so I've been wanting to introduce a new segment into my my camping videos, something that I thought might generate a bit of interest in the videos, a little bit of something different, I suppose, that you don't see in other places. You know, I'm keen to you know, mix things up a little bit with the content, and what I want to do is talk a little bit about the serious things in life, and that for me is biscuits. I like to have a good dunk when I have a brew, dunking my biscuits in the brew, and I thought, what better thing to do than introduce a brand new segment into my camping videos called Barney's biscuits and brews. I need to make some kind of jingle for that, I think. Barney's biscuits and brews, brought to you by Barney's Bimbles. How about that? I don't know. It's a bit of fun. But each time I go out camping, what I'm thinking of doing is bringing you a couple of different biscuits and giving them a bit of a dunk and having a chat about them. And so, without further ado, I'm going to show you what I've brought this time. So I'll bring you around. So there we go, folks. The bourbon and the ginger nut. So I'm going to get straight into it. I'm going to go for the ginger nut first. Go conservative with the dunk. And I'm not testing how long they dunk for here. It's just about that overall experience of the dunk and the sensation, really. Now that is not bad. I'm a big fan of a ginger nut. Ginger's not for everyone, but they give you a nice extra little bit of warmth from the ginger, comes through in the flavour, and it's just a really nice biscuit. And the dunking only enhances it, in my opinion. Now onto the just cleanse the palate first. Oh, that's better. Needed that cup of tea, by the way, after the ride in. It was parched, to say the least. But yeah, bourbon biscuit. See, that is a winner in my eyes as well. I thought to start this with this segment, I thought I'd go a little bit left field with the biscuit choice, because everyone has the conversation about it. I've had these conversations with some of the folks that I've camped with in the past. I know that some of my campmates, David Fry's, Tim Smith, aka Rough Timber, they've done some segments on this in the past, so shout out to those guys for sort of getting the ball rolling in their sort of earlier videos. But everyone defaults to the hobnob or the digestive when it comes to dunking, and preferably those varieties with chocolate spread across the top of them. But and they're very nice, don't get me wrong. I love a digestive, particularly a plain chocolate digestive. But one must not forget the other biscuits on the supermarket are bourbon, ginger nut, and there are others to boot, which I'll bring along on future camps. And you know, they might not last the longest in the dunking stakes. About a 2-second dunk, I think. 2-second dunk, and you're in biscuit nirvana. I love a ginger nut. But yeah, really nice biscuits. So let me know what you think, folks. Do you think I should carry on doing Barney's biscuits and brews and have a little dunking segment, a little bit of a review? I'm all ears. Give me some feedback. Let me know what you think. Should I keep this segment in the future videos, or drop it? It's up to you. But I'd appreciate the feedback for sure. But it's a lovely way to sit at camp, enjoy a nice biscuit with a brew, listen to the trains going by, people coming home from a hard day's work, no doubt, and enjoying the woodland. And now that I'm not messing around with the bike and setting up camp, it's starting to cool down a little bit, and life is feeling good. Life is good. Lovely. Hi campers, so I thought I'd give you a quick update on the Brompton, because it's been 2 years now since I bought the bike, and I've used it quite a lot. It's been on quite a few adventures, as you'll see in my channel, but I use it most of the time for commuting during the week. When I go up to London, I use it to travel in between train stations. Sometimes I go out for a bit of a lunchtime plod on it. When I'm working from home, I sort of grab a sandwich, chuck it in the saddlebag with a drink and whatnot, and then just go out somewhere for a ride and have lunch out somewhere, and then cycle back. It's not a nice bit of exercise, and all in all, I really enjoy using the bike. It's not put a foot wrong. The only thing I've done in the 2 years that I've owned it is change the tyres, because the original set just wore out basically. I've upgraded then to these Schwalbe Marathon Plus tyres, which are a bit more durable than the standard ones, a bit more puncture resistance, and so far so good. Really impressed with it. Very soon, I think what I'm going to have to do is give the transmission a bit of a service. I think the chain's going to be due for replacement soon, as will the chain rings probably, but that's just maintenance. They're wearable things. What I might do though is reduce the size of the chain ring at the front. That's 54 tooth on there as standard, but it struggles up the hills. You once the hill gets a little bit steep, you just run out of gears. So I might get a smaller chain ring, maybe a 44 or 50, I don't know. Yeah, probably 44, and that'll make the hills a lot easier for me. But otherwise, all good. Absolutely loving this Brooks saddle. I changed that fairly early on when I got the bike, because the standard one I just wasn't getting on with. It was like sitting on a razor blade, but this one is like your favourite leather sofa. It's really nice, and people look at that and they think that looks really uncomfortable, but trust me, it works. So yeah, bit of maintenance coming up soon on the bike, but otherwise it's all tickety-boo, and I'm sure it will stand me in good stead for many more years to come. Alright, campers, so it's getting on a bit now time wise, so I'm gonna get some dinner down me. So I've got my frying pan tonight, and I'm gonna fry up some got a few chipolatas, 3 chipolatas there to cook up, and I've got an egg to fry up as well, and some baked beans as well. So I'm gonna have a mini breakfast, if you like. I'm gonna cook that in some butter. Got some seasoning, some salt and pepper there as well, and yeah, keep it nice and simple. Then I've got a pudding to have later as well, which is a bit different. I'm gonna make some bannock bread. Got some flour and milk powder and salt mix there for making some bannock bread, and I'm gonna have that with a little bit of jam and some butter, I think. That's the plan. So I'm going to get the stove lit up, get the sausages on first, I think, get them cooking up. Lovely jubbly. Bottom's a bit hot. Okay. There we go then, folks. Nice and simple. This frying pan is fantastic for frying eggs. The surface is perfect. Just done my dishes. Gonna use that again in a moment to do the bannock. First, not gonna have it just yet, but I'm gonna make the bannock bread now, so that all the cooking's done and dusted then. And that can cool off for a bit before I eat it for pudding later. So yeah, I'm gonna get that mixed up. Last time I did it, I overwatered it, so I've got to be careful this time. So I'm just taking my time mixing it together. It'll eventually come together, I think, and eventually I'll have to get my hands in there to knead it a bit. I think I've got that just right. This is, it's not sticking to my hands, making my hands all messy. Just having to raise it up off the stove a little bit to help regulate the temperature, because I don't want it to cook too quickly. That'll do, folks. I think it's a little bit burnt in the middle there, but I'm just going to let that sit in the pan for a bit now, cool off, finish cooking as well in that process, and I'll have that with some butter and jam a little later for pudding. So dinner done, washing up done, pudding made. We'll have that later. Time for a beer o'clock, I think. I've got a plum porter today by the Titanic Brewery. I brought this because it's tasty. Plum porters always go down nicely, but you can drink these at room temperature, and bringing an ale out in this kind of heat, it would have been quite a warm ale to drink. So leave them in the fridge at home for another time, and the porter will be much more enjoyable. That's my thinking anyway. Cheers. Oh, that's lovely. Starting to cool down a little bit now. Sun getting a bit lower. Imagine sunset will be in about an hour or so. Yeah, it's 20 to 8, so yeah, about an hour. Start getting dusk. Yeah, getting golden hour is upon us. Lovely. But when the weather's hot like this, I'm not especially motivated to do much when I'm at camp, because everything you do, you just get hot and bothered and sweaty. It's not nice. I'm not even having a fire today because you just don't need it. I didn't need it to cook on, and I don't need it for warmth. I'd just be having it for the sake of having a fire in it, and it would be nice to have a fire, but it's not necessary. I've got the lantern to keep the mozzies at bay, and it has been putting a shift in. I think I've been bitten once on the back of my neck, but that's it so far. So I think the lantern's definitely helping. I'll say that much. Right, I'm going to sit and enjoy my porter. Lovely jubbly. One thing that always feels a bit sinister when you're camping in the woods in the height of summer is the sounds that you hear, because you get the occasional bird noise, far fewer than you do in the spring and autumn, but you just got this bass line of buzzing, very high pitched buzzing of all the insects flying around and all them mosquitoes and whatnot that want to eat you. You just hear them buzzing constantly. Apart from the buzzing though, it's very peaceful. I'm surprised I haven't heard any people out walking. Didn't pass a single person or see a single person when I was cycling up here. Obviously it's a Friday, so people have been at work and whatnot, but I'd have thought I'd have seen a few people. But it's another hot day tomorrow, so I think I shall be packing up fairly early and getting on my way before the sun gets too hot. Got plans with the good lady tomorrow as well. That'll be good. Nice bit of strawberry jam. Not going to get my spatula in that, so I have to use my spoon as a spreader. Lovely. Some of you might wonder, bread and jam for a pudding? It's a bit of an odd choice, but there's a lot of sentimentality and a lot of memories wrapped up in bread and jam for me. It was often a pudding we'd have at home when I was younger, growing up. You know, didn't have a lot of money, so you knew when things were running a bit tight in the household budget when you ask if there's anything for pudding after dinner, and Mum says, "Oh well, there's bread and jam in the cupboard," and yeah, but love it. And enjoy bread and jam now. Quite often it's the simple pleasures in life, isn't it, that you enjoy most. Cheers, folks. Lovely. Nice drop of single malt scotch. Just had an interesting encounter. Had about 12 people just walk through my camp area. Had all the hallmarks of a scout group, I think. We had 2 or 3 adults and a bunch of 8, 9 teenagers making lots of noise, walking through the undergrowth. Nice enough people though, said hello. Didn't give me any bother, so yeah. I mean, I've got permission to camp in this area, so it's all good. But yeah, always a bit weird when a big group of people walk through an area when there's no paths around here. It's off the beaten track, so yeah, it's all part of the fun, isn't it? Anyway, I like scotch. I like scotch. Scotchy, scotchy, scotch. Here it goes down. Oh, it burns your nostrils. Oh, just straight to the sleeping bag over me now, folks. It's quite dark outside. Yep, pitch black to you on the camera there. But just been laying here chilling. It's cooled down quite a bit now, but it's still plenty warm enough. Just got the sleeping bag over me legs because I've got shorts on and I don't want to get bitten by the bugs. And been trying to keep the lantern, the light off, because the bugs love the light. So I'm just using that for filming. But yeah, I'm going to bed down shortly. It's just gone 10 o'clock, and looking forward to a nice night in the tent. It's been lovely sitting in this, shoes off. It's like a lap of luxury. Got me inflatable pad, pillow, lovely jubbly. Good night. Oh. Morning, folks. That was lovely. Wasn't too hot, wasn't too cold last night in here. Really nice. I slept like a log as well, so really enjoyed that. I could probably put my head down for another couple of hours if I wanted to, but got things to do today. We've got to get up, get a brew on, get breakfast on, and get gone. 5 more minutes though, 5 more minutes. Oh. Got the self-inflating mat. This is a multi-mat one, so it's made by the same people that make the British Army sleeping pads. I've had this one for best part of 10 years and it's been fantastic. Admittedly, it doesn't get used very often, but it's always a comfortable night on it. I probably should use it a bit more really, but I prefer the simplicity of the foam pads, albeit you sacrifice a bit of comfort for sure. Cheers, folks. So I was quite impressed with the tent last night. I left the main door open all night because it was so warm, and obviously there's no condensation in the tent because of that, so it's nice to pack it away dry. But when I zipped up the inner, it started off a little bit warm for the first half hour or so, but then it chilled down nicely. I just used the sleeping bag as a quilt. I left it unzipped and just threw it over me, and worked really well. Yeah, slept like a log. I woke up though about 3 AM and I heard some people. I'm certain it was a couple of people chatting, walking around the trail somewhere, which tells me there was probably some other people camping up the woods up here last night. No idea where they were though, but yeah, we'll see people out having a drink somewhere. But yeah, shrugged that off, went straight back to sleep. Slept like a log last night. Really enjoyed that. It's only a short but sweet adventure, sort of Friday after work trip, but I've had to squeeze them in this last month or two because of other commitments that I've got in a minute. Yeah, I've had to seize the opportunities where I can. But it should get better in August onwards. I've got some other trips planned for the rest of the year. I'm hoping to do a long distance hike soon. Let me know if that's something you'd like to see. I've not actually done one before. Nothing major. I'm not doing like coast to coast or anything like that. But I've got a hike on the North Downs Way in mind that I want to have a go. Possibly next month, maybe September. I'm not 100% sure yet. I want to do that over 3 days as well, so that should be fun. Failing that, I think another trip that I'll be doing soon will be a bit more bushcrafty. Probably get the canvas gear out again, and yeah, practice a few skills. Have a bit of fun in the woods. For the last 2 months, I have been trying to get down to the riverside for a camp. Last month I didn't make it down there. Well, I went down there, but ended up going back home because the areas that I had in mind were occupied by cows. This month, this camp was intended to be down by the riverside, but I recce'd the spot that I wanted to go to last weekend, and it was a spot that I've camped at before a couple of years prior, but this time it was just completely overgrown with brambles and whatnot, and so I wrote that one off as well. And the weather, you know, yesterday would have been scorching hot in such an exposed location as well, so the woodland was definitely the best shout last night. But yeah, really pleasant morning so far. It's only 6:30 though, so it's still quite early. Lovely. I'm going to enjoy this cup of tea, and I'll bring you back once I've packed up, I think. There we go then, folks, all packed up. Left no traces always. No fire last night, so that may clear up even easier. But I've got the rubbish packed into my bag. Got the Brompton loaded back up again. Got the old crash hat on. If anyone wonders why I've got a buff on underneath, it's to stop the sweat running into my eyes, because this helmet isn't really made for this kind of activity, and it gets hot. But yeah, time to head off, I think. But I'll get this video edited and uploaded in due course, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. I probably waffled on a bit too much on this one, but it's been good to get out. Enjoyed it, and it's always a pleasure to get out on the Brommie. Not sure when I'm going to get back out on that again this year. The trips that I've got planned are going to be on foot. or in the car. But yeah, I shall bid you farewell. Let me know what you think in the comments. Particularly let me know what you think about Barney's biscuits and brews, that new segment, whether you think that's got legs. And I'll bring him back for next month's camp. And maybe I might even have a get out for a bimble before then as well. And Mrs. Bimbles and I are going down to the wilderness gathering mid-August for the day. So I might take the camera to that and shoot a little bit as well. I'm not sure. We'll see. But if any of you are at the wilderness gathering this year, say hello, and I'll see you there. Bye for now.